Juga mendapatkan penghargaan di beberapa award di Dubai, termasuk juga tentang dia adalah seorang penulis atau Islamic Economics and Banking juga, kemudian Islamic Digital Finance and Digital Transformation. تخصصها دائما ما حول تحول الرقمي. إن شاء الله ستحاضر بيننا. ومعنا and which us Dr. Michael. Dr. Michael, we can speak bahasa, right? Dr. Michael lebih jago makan nasi goreng. So, kita sangat berbahagia hari ini kedatangan para pembicara yang luar biasa dan dihadiri juga oleh beliau dari keluarga atase agama kedutaan Arab Saudi di Jakarta. Jadi memang tugas beliau itu menebarkan nasyru da'watul Islam wal muslimin min risalatil mamlaka ila kullu anha'il jazirah al-Indonesia. Wa tasyarrafna Ustaz. Dan alhamdulillah pada hari ini kita lengkap sekali, para pimpinan kita sudah hadir semua, menyaksikan kita semua. Sesungguhnya saya sangat grogi ini Mem Susi ini. Grogi karena saya belum pernah memoderatori acara dihadiri seluruh pimpinan. Jadi ini luar biasa. Oke, thank you. Dan untuk mengawali acara kita pada pagi hari ini, mungkin kita akan mempersilahkan Dr. Ibrahim terlebih dahulu. Dr. Ibrahim mungkin تلقي كلمات وقبل هذا الكلمات ممكن أعطيكم بعض المقدمات عن ما يتعلق بهذا المؤتمر. فهذا المؤتمر تتحدثون عن تنمية المستدامة، ألا وهي تنمية التي تأخذ بعين الاعتبار الأبعاد الاجتماعية والاقتصادية والأبعاد السياسية كمان. فهذا التنمية المستدامة طبعا تتطلب تحسين ظروف المعيشة الاجتماع لجميع الأفراد دون زيادة أي استخدام الموارد الطبيعية كما إحنا فعلنا في جامعتنا. إحنا حاليا نحاول إلى تكوين الجامعة على شكل مستدامة، وإن شاء الله سوف نتحدث عن أمور الحضارة الإسلامية الملاوية متعلقا بما نتحدث عن تنمية مستدامة. وإن شاء الله سنعطي فرصة لكم سعادتي وتفضلوا المكان إياكم. شكرا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله. سعيد جدا يعني أكون معكم هذا الصباح، واسمحوا لي يعني هذا sanitation first director of the university as well as the representative of the Saudi embassy and my good friend Dr. Happy and the deans and the deputy directors of this respectful university as well. Well, I'm really delighted to be with you. That's all. Look, I like it. Why so? Okay, then I give you how many minutes? Okay, yeah, in 15 minutes I could do a lot, yeah. Oh, it's and I don't have to use my. Yeah. So, as I said, I'm really delighted to be here with you, and it's been a great opportunity for me to come to Sumatra. This is the first time. It's a beautiful country, it's beautiful people, no doubt about it, and very hospitable. And I'm glad that I took the trouble to travel from Doha to this place. It wasn't an easy thing, but now I think that it's a great relief for me. Now, what I'll be doing is a very simple thing. First of all, I would like to identify the fact that any discussion about the SDGs from a Muslim Malay perspective, I've got to keep in mind Islah and Tawheed movement its principles, its values into these 17 goals. And of course, here in Indonesia, you have two important Islamic movements, Nahdlatul Ulama and the Muhammadiyah movement. They contributed a great deal to our understanding of Islam in Southeast Asia, and they had also a great influence in Malaysia, in Brunei as well, and of course in Mindanao and southern Thailand as well. I think, generally speaking, the Indonesian people, this is my experience, their scholars and their people were the vanguard of the processes of Islamization of the people, Islamization of the human knowledge, and presenting Islam to the rest of the world from Southeast Asia as well. So, as I said, how you frame the discussion, I'll frame it within Islah and Tajdeed, within Madrasatul Manar and its impact on the Indonesian scene. And the second thing that you have to keep in mind that the university setup, the first place in the Muslim world actually to have a modern university setup is nowhere but Indonesia. In Yogyakarta, the International Islamic University, which was established in 1955, was the first Islamic university which does have the setup. Of course, we do have universities in the Arab world, especially the three important universities, the Qarawiyyin, Zaytuna, and Al-Azhar. Oh, my sound is this.
Stronger, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I have a very soft voice. I understand that, but bear with me the fact that I have to talk. Yeah. So, just to repeat few of the things that I said. Can you go to the slide number 1? These are the 17 goals. I'm not interested in all of them, but I'm only interested in the goal number 4, which is by and large focuses on education. So, as I said, the most important thing that we frame this discussion within Islah and Tajdeed. And then, oh yeah, this is better, yeah. I think that would make it difficult for me because it's only 15 minutes. You just look at what I had there, okay? So this is the first statement, which is very important, which is about Kitab al-Ilm in Ihya Ulumuddin, Imam Ghazali. Now, Imam Ghazali is a very important figure in Southeast Asia. He was studied in the Bandung in Pesantren, and it is very important for us to understand what I wanted to say to you here by looking into his impact as well. And his impact actually will include two parts, the axiological part as well as the ontological part as well. Can you go to the second? Yeah. The next one? Yeah. Now, this is, I guess, the most, can you go to, yeah, the next one? Yeah, so this is the main argument is here, that the SDGs report 2013 forced the Secretary General to call for delivering rescue plan for the people and planet, and he identified three key areas for urgent action. So these are the five key areas for an urgent action. Can you go to the next one? Now, my argument, just make it simple. My argument is this, that the SDGs, when they have been initiated in 2015, there was a very important thing which was missing, which is the ethical, spiritual aspect of the human being. We are in this planet. If we are speaking about sustainability and we are not bringing in the most important aspect of the human being, which is his ethical, spiritual dimension, then we are going to head for trouble. And that is exactly what happened. And here in Southeast Asia, when this was presented in 2015, I remember in IIUM, one important critique which was developed was, where is goal number 18, which is about spirituality. And since then, in IIUM, they started actually to develop this goal and to force those who are going to follow up the implementation of the 17 goals to bring in this thing. But unfortunately, we were not successful. أنا يعني أتحدث الآن بالعربية وأقول لكم في العام 2015 حينما أعلن عن هذه ال17 يعني goals هدف للتنمية في 2030 كان النقد الأساسي الذي قدم هو أن هذه ال17 هدف لا يمكن أن تنجز إلا بالنظر للإنسان. يعني إن كانت هذه ال17 هدفا فيها النظر إلى الإنسان وإلى هذا الكون الذي فيه هذا الإنسان، لكن الذي حدث أن هذه الأهداف تركت جانبا مهما، وهو الجانب المتعلق بالدين والمتعلق بالروحانيات. وهذا أمر قوي جدا في الأمم المتحدة. الأمم المتحدة منذ إنشائها قررت ألا تتحدث عن الدين، ألا تتحدث عن الأخلاق، أن تعتبر الدين مسألة شخصية لا علاقة لها بالببليك سبيس، لا علاقة لها بالنظام العام، وكذلك الجانب الأخلاقي لا علاقة له أيضا بالنظام العام. فلكل فرد الأخلاق التي يرتئيها، إن رأى يعني في الظلم خيرا فذلك ما يرى، وإن رأى يعني في الخير خير فذلك ما يرى، ولا لأحد من الناس الحق في أن يفرض على الآخرين رؤيته. So back to English. Now, as I said, the missing goal number 18 was spirituality. And that goal was very important because now we are not speaking about a one-dimensional man who is materialistic and who is also relativistic when it comes to ethics. Now, the man as envisioned by the 17 goals is somebody who is relativistic. It means values for him are relative, and he can make values, and he also can do away with values, as we are now witnessing in what is going on in Gaza. Why we are not adhering to universal values? It is because of the fact that there aren't, for those who are dominating the political scene, such a thing as universal values. For them, values are relative. When it suits them, they will speak about human rights. When it suits them, they will speak about genocide. When it doesn't suit them, they wouldn't talk about these things. And they'll have all the justifications not to talk about these things. And mind you, we are living all in one planet. If we are not going to have universal values, and if values are not relational to the human being, meaning the human being is going to realize the value in his act. The human being is going to discover how to realize the value in his act, but he is not going to make the values. If you are going to make the values, and if you are going to be the standard of what is right and what is wrong, then we are not going to have universal values, but rather we are going to have relative values. And the stronger, of course, is going to force his values on others. Case in point, what happened in Gaza. We are seeing that with our own eyes, and we are following it. It is because of the fact that for those people, there aren't things that are universal. The second and important thing, now what has been developed is this post-truth world. There isn't such a thing as truth. Within the 17 values, if you want to realize them, if somebody subscribes to the agenda, which is now becoming an international agenda as well, which is the post-truth world, nobody has the right to speak about truth. You have your truth, I have my truth, she has her truth, and so forth. Now, let us go back to the very idea of sustainability, which is a very noble thing. But this is not sustainable, isn't it? If we are in the post-truth world, if we are a world which is full of relativistic values, this is not going to be sustainable, because the human being cannot sustain himself, let alone sustain the planet that he is living in, if he doesn't have values, if he doesn't have a clear understanding of truth. Now, unfortunately, the universities are now the places where this agenda of the post-truth and this agenda of secular humanism is being forced into the curriculum, is being forced into the minds of the young people and the coming generations. What is going to happen? We're going to lose the family. Sooner or later, we're going to lose the family. If you lose the family, you're going to lose the human being. If you lose the human being, as we know him, the ideal human being in our mind, then we're going to lose the planet. Obviously, maybe another species will come and dominate this planet. We will not be qualified, actually, to live in this planet. That's why when I said to you that the Secretary General, in despair, after 15 years of implementing the 17 goals, he said we are way behind. The financing is way behind. The implementation of the 17 goals, none of them was achieved. We are halfway. But after 15 years, this is what the Secretary General is saying. And lucky enough to make us wake up, this is a wake-up call for all of us. The Gaza war now would tell us that it is because of that missing dimension, the spirituality, the ethical, the spiritual dimension is not there. The other 17 goals are not going to be sustainable. And I think the current director of IIUM, he had a committee. It happened I was one of these members of this committee. We were advancing this idea, how to interconnect, actually how these 17 goals are interconnected. And they are interconnected with education, the goal number 4. But we wanted actually to interconnect the goal number 4 with the goal number 18, where sustainability is going to be possible. Nay, it is going to be important for the very presence of the human being on this planet. Now, as I said, this is the crux of my presentation, and this is actually the most important thing that I felt that Southeast Asia and the Muslims here in this part of the world are presenting to humanity, which is the goal number 18. And in my argument, I said that if we wanted actually these 17 goals to be realized within the coming 15 years, we cannot afford to do away with the goal number 18. For a very simple reason, as I said to you, that This is about what? About us as human beings. Okay, about us as human beings and how do we know the world around us. Now, if somebody is telling me that I won't be able to know the truth, which means he is confused, how would you actually expect from somebody who's confused? He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know whether he is a man or a woman or a transgender or whatever thing he has. His identity actually is lost. He doesn't know actually how to relate to other human beings. But he wanted us to accept him or her, and he forced this acceptance on us. It's not his own personal agenda, but rather it is becoming like a universal agenda, as they say. Some of you perhaps might have seen what happened in the Mondial, in the World Cup in Qatar, where the LGBTQ insisting to raise their flag against the laws of the host. What kind of position they were taking? It's a position they wanted to force their agenda on us. And as I said to you, this is all about the post-truth world. When there is no truth, the human being will lose his identity. When the human being lost actually his identity, he won't be able to operate within his family. And if the family is going to be dysfunctional, then the place for the human being to grow and to have a future is going to be lost once and for all. So back, let me just insist on an important thing before I end my conversation with you. We need to have the goal number 18, which has been championed by the International Islamic University Malaysia. I'm not doing any kind of propaganda for that university, but I think you can collaborate with that university, and we are duty bound to further this discussion and to convince others that we are here to stay and we are here to make the world a better world for all humanity. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your presentation. And tadi sudah kita dengar ya, adik-adik semua bersama ada 17 goals, tapi 17-nya itu tidak akan tercapai dengan baik atau terwujud dengan sesuai tujuannya, kecuali ada tambahan yang ke-18 goals ini, yaitu spiritual and ethical dimension of the human being. Sebelum kita membuka sesi tanya jawab, mungkin an nusmah li sa'adati Jamila li tulki muhadarataha. Wah, sekali lagi kita beri dulu kesempatan kepada Dr. Maha untuk mempresentasikan papernya, mempresentasikan materi yang akan dia sampaikan, yaitu Nazratul Tanmiyatul Mustadama min Nahya At-Tahawul Ar-Raqami wa Fintech Technology and Economic. Oke, silahkan Dr. Maha, faltafaddal lialqail muhadatul basita. Ma'aki kaman 15 دقائق فقط. Syukran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. في هذا اليوم المبارك أتقدم بجزيل الشكر إلى مكتب الشؤون الدولية بجامعة رادان فتح بالمنغ على دعوتي للتحدث إليكم عن موضوع يمس صميم عصرنا، وهو التحول الرقمي والتكنولوجيا المالية في البنوك الإسلامية، فتح الطريق نحو التنمية المستدامة. في ظل هذا التحول يبرز السؤال عن كيفية توأمة هذه التقنيات الجديدة مع مفهوم التنمية المستدامة التي لا تقتصر على النمو الاقتصادي وحده، بل تمتد لتشمل العدالة الاجتماعية وحماية البيئة. وفي قلب هذه الثورة يبرز التمويل الإسلامي Islamic Banking كنموذج يجمع بين التقليد والحداثة استنادا إلى مبادئ الشريعة الإسلامية التي تحرم الربا وتشجع العدالة والشفافية في المعاملات المالية. نحن أمام فرصة عملية عظيمة لدمج التكنولوجيا مع مبادئ التمويل الإسلامي لنقود ثورة في القطاع المالي والمصرفي، ثورة تدمج ما بين التقدم، الابتكار، الحداثة والعدالة والشفافية. يمثل التحول الرقمي تغيير جذري في كيفية تفاعلنا مع المعلومات ومعالجتها واستخدامها لتحقيق أهدافنا الاقتصادية والاجتماعية. في القطاع المالي والمصرفي يمثل التحول الرقمي تغييرا جذريا وتطورات عديدة واستخدام التقنيات الرقمية الحديثة. التحول الرقمي له تأثير كبير على المعاملات، يحولها نحو معاملات أكثر ابتكاراً واستدامة. نحن نستخدم تقنيات حديثة مثل البيج داتا، artificial intelligence، cloud computing، digital banking، digital branches. جميع هذه التقنيات هي تمثل التحول هدفه هو محورية العميل. نحن نهدف إلى تقديم الخدمات المبتكرة إلى العملاء. في قلب هذا التحول يبرز الفينتك كرمز للابتكار في الخدمات المالية. فينتك هي مزيج بين التقدم التكنولوجي والحلول المالية، وهي تشمل كل من الدفع الإلكتروني digital payment، التجارة الإلكترونية e-electronic، إلى الخدمات المصرفية عبر الإنترنت موبايل بانكينج وإنترنت بانكينج، والاستثمارات الآلية ريبوت أو advisory. وقد أحدثت هذه التقنيات ثورة حقيقية في كيفية تواصلنا مع العملاء، وتوفر خدمات غير مسبوقة إلى العملاء، وهي تؤثر على الإفشنسي، تؤثر على revenue streams، تؤثر على الانوفيشن، وتؤثر على عديد من الجوانب. والأهم من هذا فهي تساعد على الشمول المالي، وهو إحدى أهدافنا الاجتماعية الفاينانشال انكلوجن. هناك عدد لا بأس به من المجتمعات ليس لديها وصول إلى الخدمات المالية والمصرفية، وهي تقع خارج النظام المصرفي التقليدي، وبالتالي فإن الفينتك تساعد على تقديم حلول مالية مبتكرة متوافقة مع الأحكام الشرعية، وهو ما يحقق مبدأ العدالة الاجتماعية والعدالة المالية. في سياق الاستدامة توفر التقنيات الرقمية الحديثة فرصا لتطوير حلول مبتكرة تدعم الاقتصاد الأخضر Green Economy وتساهم في الحفاظ على البيئة. وهنا يأتي دور التمويل الإسلامي في هذا المشهد ليقدم نموذجا قائما على مبدأ الشفافية وتقاسم المخاطر والتركيز على الاستثمارات الحقيقية التي تسهم في التنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية. التمويل الإسلامي بجوهره يمتلك القدرة على تعزيز النمو الاقتصادي وتحقيق التنمية، وفي ذات الوقت يحافظ على استدامة البيئة من خلال تشجيع المشاريع الصديقة للبيئة، من خلال تبني نهج يراعي التوازن بين النمو الاقتصادي والمسؤولية البيئية والاجتماعية. لنأخذ مثال على ذلك، وهو توفير المنتجات المالية الخضراء Green Finance، حيث تقوم البنوك الإسلامية بتصميم منتجات تمويلية تشجع على الاستثمار في المشاريع الصديقة للبيئة، والتي تسهم في خفض الانبعاثات الكربونية والمحافظة على الموارد الطبيعية. وهذا يتماشى مع مبادئ الشريعة الإسلامية التي تحض على الحفاظ على الأرض ومواردها للأجيال القادمة next generations. علاوة على ذلك تستثمر البنوك الإسلامية في التقنيات الحديثة التي تدعم الكفاءة البيئية، مثل تمويل المشاريع التي تعمل على تطوير الطاقة المتجددة وتحسين إدارة النفايات والمياه. تلك التقنيات تسهم بشكل فعال في خلق نموذج اقتصادي يرسخ مفهوم الاستدامة. بالإضافة إلى ذلك فإن الجمع بين التقنيات الحديثة في الفينتك مع مبادئ التمويل الإسلامي يمكن أن يوفر حلولاً مبتكرة تدعم المشاريع الصغيرة والمتوسطة ويساهم في تحقيق الأهداف العالمية للتنمية المستدامة. وبالتالي يمكن ل إسلاميك فينتك أن يلعب دورا بارزا في تحقيق التنمية المستدامة والشاملة. ونحن في هذا المؤتمر مدعوون للتفكير والتدبر في كيفية تحقيق الانسجام والاستفادة بين الأسس التمويل الإسلامي والتكنولوجيا الحديثة والتحول الرقمي. في الختام أود أن أؤكد بأن التنمية المستدامة هي موضوع مهم، وأن التمويل الإسلامي لديه فرصة عظيمة لكي يحقق الريادة والاستدامة لكافة المجتمع. نحن نريد تنمية، نريد القضاء على الفقر، نريد الحفاظ على البيئة، نريد الحفاظ على المناخ، نريد أن نحقق تنمية أو مساواة ما بين الرجل والمرأة، نريد أن نضمن التعليم الجيد إلى كافة الشعوب العالم. ولكن ما يحدث اليوم يناقض كافة هذه الأهداف. نحن نتحدث عن تنمية، عن تعليم، ولكن هنالك أطفال في جميع أنحاء العالم وليس فقط في غزة جميعهم محرومون من التعليم بسبب عدم العدالة والفوارق الاجتماعية. هناك حروب، صراعات، هناك دول تصنع الصراعات ولو لم تكن موجودة، دول تصنع القنابل، دول تمول الإرهاب والتي تتحدث عن عدم السماح للإرهاب والحفاظ على البيئة. فهذا يجعلنا تحت تناقض كبير. أنا من الناس التي من أوائل الذين كتبوا عن التحول الرقمي في الصيرفة الإسلامية، ودائما أشجع على الابتكار وعلى استخدام التقنيات وخاصة الذكاء الاصطناعي Artificial Intelligence. ولكن هناك تحيز، حتى وإن كان الذكاء الاصطناعي يساعدنا على إدارة المخاطر، اتخاذ القرارات، الشفافية، تحسين الأداء، ولكن يبقى هناك تحيز في من يصنع الذكاء الاصطناعي، في من يبرمج، في من يكتب الخوارزميات. فلذلك يجب دائما عندما نتحدث عن التنمية أن نضع في أعيننا التنمية المستدامة تعني المساواة، تعني حياة أفضل لجميع شعوب العالم. وهذا ما يحدث اليوم في كافة أنحاء العالم يتناقض مع أهداف التنمية المستدامة. أشكركم مرة أخرى على هذه الفرصة، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا.
شكرا جزيلا لسعادتي دكتورة مها شهادة على حسن تحضيره للموضوع المستدامة. بداية فقط ذكرت وشرحت سعادة الدكتور إبراهيم بما يتعلق بالتنمية المستدامة بشكل عام على 17 جوانبها: قضاء على الفقر وعدم والعدالة وجندر وغير ذلك. ثم كملت وعملت التفصيل في ناحية الاقتصادية شرحت Sayyidah Maha. Jadi adik-adik tadi sudah dijelaskan secara umum ya oleh Dr. Ibrahim tentang SDGs Goals yang meliputi 17 tujuannya, dan kemudian dikuatkan oleh Dr. Maha mengenai bagaimana SDGs tersebut dilihat dari sisi ekonomi dan pada kesimpulannya Dr. Maha berkesimpulan bahwa yang terjadi saat ini justru kebalikan dari 17 ini. Kenapa? Karena tidak adanya asas keadilan. Yang kita harapkan tidak adanya pengangguran, tapi ternyata pengangguran semakin luas, semakin banyak. Kemudian kita lihat di berbagai negara ya, termasuk tadi yang disebutkan di beberapa negara masih ada anak kecil yang kelaparan dan lain sebagainya. Nah, insya Allah M.Sos nanti we will continue to Mr. Michael. Baru setelah itu nanti kita akan buka sesi tanya jawab.
Thank you very much, Dr. Estina, for your summary. But I believe that some of you have already started to ask, but hold, we will start now to listen our speaker. I think he's very special. Allow me to read his curriculum vitae. His name is Dr. Michael Robert Quinlan, and his place of birth, Leavenworth, Kansas, United States of America. And his education, Bachelor of Art, is from Region Biblical Study Ballet University, Waco, Texas, USA. Master of Divinity, Theology, Word Christianity, George Truth Theological Seminary, Baylor University, also in Texas, USA. And this is the interesting one. He graduated from Doctor of Philosophy, Interreligious Studies, Indonesian Consortium for Religious Study, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. Sugeng enjing, bro. Yeah, I was just surprised and so happy because yesterday night he speak Indonesian so fluently. Yeah. So since I study in Yogyakarta for 4 years, I told him that even your Bahasa Indonesia is even better than me. And I hope that today he will combine 2 languages to speak in front of you all in Bahasa and also English. And he will deliver Achieving Sustainable Development Mizan, the need for new language and practice. And allow me also to read of his publication. He is the editor of Meta OCM Ginting, Gereja dalam Pelayanan, Panduan Pelengkap bagi Pengerja, Serving in Church, Guidance for Servants, Muslim Migration to East Nusa Tenggara, Implication for Faith Communities, Muslim Migrant Religion on Sumba Islands, a response to Jeremy Menchie, Productive Intolerance. But I'm sorry I cannot read all because I believe that he has a very amazing capacity to talk this morning, and I think tanpa berpanjang waktu langsung saya berikan kepada Dr. Michael. Please welcome.
Terima kasih semuanya. Saya diminta bicara hanya 15 menit. Tapi saya akademisi dan juga pendeta. Sebagai pendeta itu agak susah bawa materi di bawah 1 jam, 2 jam ya. Jadi saya bawa ini, aplikasi, so bisa tepat waktu. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, good morning, shalom. Thank you to Ibu Rektor, Pak Pator, Wakil Rektor, and the Panitia for inviting me. This is my first time to Sumatera Selatan, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to enjoy Pempek. So, my topic today is achieving Mizan. So the sustainable development is scratched out. My focus of my research, my focus of my academic life, but also my life as Pendeta is dialogue, engaging people in conversation, using the language that they know. And so this is very important to me. You look at many words that we borrow from the West in Indonesia, words that we borrow from maybe the UN. In the local context here in Indonesia, people don't understand. For instance, I do work in renewable energy. When I first came to Indonesia, there was no word for renewable energy. Sekarang itu energi terbarukan. But that still sounds a little strange.
And so the point of my talk this morning is we need to use local language. We need to use the language that people know and have been using for many years to articulate the things that we want to do as people heading towards sustainability. So with that in mind, here's my first question. Do you believe in climate change? Yeah, of course. You know, why would we be at this conference if we didn't believe in climate change? But even more so as academics, it's really difficult to say no. In the US, if you were an academic and you said you don't believe in climate change, then immediately you're considered anti-science. But what if you don't? Many people in our communities don't believe. And you notice I'm using this word believe, percaya. Many things in science we have to put our faith in. We put belief in. And yet many people in our communities, they believe other things. So does it matter? Do I have to believe in these two words, climate change, to want to make a difference in the world? We all want clean air. We all want clean water, clean food, good education for our kids, money in our dompet. We don't need those two words, climate change, to want these things. And so the focus of my conversation here is, how do we bring people together to pursue the things that we all want using new language? So we're at the midpoint. As Professor Ibrahim already said, we're at the midpoint. And so it's time to take consideration for where we are. And the reality is we are behind. We are far behind where we wanted to be in terms of the Sustainable Development Goals. 11 out of 17 are on track. 30% have not progressed at all or have gone backwards. This is the global data. In Indonesia, it's even worse. That's a lot of red. So the major challenges that we're facing in Indonesia are, of course, hunger, health, energy, water, land, and institutions. And we know this. We experience this. We live this every day in Indonesia. The last 2 weeks I was spent in Maluku. In Maluku, the fishing population has been decimated by overfishing. We know Bu Susi likes to blow up ships from China, but she's not blowing up enough. So our ability to live in this country, to live on this land, to live on this water is facing major challenges. Pempek. Is the water clean in the rivers here? If the water's not clean, then the fish are not clean. The food we eat, the food we consume, the food we love threatens our health, threatens our survival. Krisis sampah. I looked at some news about sustainability in Palembang, and I know you have krisis sampah. Yesterday on the way to dinner, I saw antrian mungkin 1 kilo untuk isi solar. In Jogja, we have krisis sampah. For 1 month of August, there was no trash pickup. And because of that, the solution, dig a hole and burn it. So sampai sekarang ada lubang di tanaman saya. This is not sustainable. So as I looked at the conference website, I was drawn to this. What do I share with you from my experience about sustainability and how we move there together? And so I'm bringing information